This is Josh Warrington for JTH Boxing. Today I'm here in Liverpool and I'm joined by Frank Smith. Frank, first of all, how are you doing today, my friend?
Well, good, mate. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm not doing too bad. Bit tired, but very excited for a very big fight week here in Liverpool. First of all, let's just talk about this event. Obviously, we see Jack Catterall headline against Jorge Linares. It's very good to see Jack getting activity. It's no secret he's been played with an activity in his career. How happy are you to see Jack Catterall being active and getting in the ring?
Yeah, 100%. Look, it's great to see him keep him busy. You know, last fought in May, just 4 or 5 months ago, after 20 odd months out of the ring, and activity is going to be key for him, and it's the most important period of his career now. You know, he's got a good test against Jorge Linares. I think it's a proper fight. You know, only a couple of years ago was Jorge Linares in there with Devin Haney, who went on to become undisputed 135-pound champion, giving him a real test. So look, I think it's a great fight and a big. You know, it sets up a big 2024 for Jack Catterall if he can come through.
Do you feel like this is almost the perfect fight for Jack to have at this stage, especially bouncing back from this inactivity? Obviously, had that nice little tick over against Foley, but Jorge Linares, he's experienced, he's been there at the top level, he's undefeated on British soil and against British fighters. It's almost the perfect fight, would you say, for Jack?
Yeah, 100%. 100% is the perfect fight. Look, against Foley, I was surprised how good he looks against Foley after so long out. He didn't show any signs of ring rust. And I think that just proves what a fighter Jack Catterall is. And I think after, you know, getting back in there, getting straight back into a training camp after a good, you know, a solid fight against Foley, that's only going to benefit him. And I think we're going to see the best of Jack Catterall on Saturday night.
And where would you like to take him next? Obviously, there's all this talk of getting a world title shot. There's the Josh Taylor rematch. That will always be there. What would Matchroom's plans be for Jack Catterall heading into 2024 with a victory on Saturday night?
Yeah, look, you've obviously got the Prograis Haney winner is an interesting, is a fight that he wants. He wants to become world champion, but at the same time, the Josh Taylor fight is a huge fight. Is a huge fight. We've all seen, you know, with the likes of the Leigh Wood, Josh Warrington fight, with the likes of, you know, when we did Katie Taylor, Chantel Cameron, these fights, you know, these domestic fights, essentially, they sell, they deliver. And I think that's a natural fight that we need to look at making. It's a fight we've been speaking about for a while. So, you know, let's see. He deserves the opportunity to go back in there.
A fight on the undercard I'd like to quickly highlight before we move into some other topics. Aqib Fiaz versus Reece Bellotti. It's a very 50-50 fight. We actually see Aqib Fiaz, who's arguably the Matchroom fighter. He actually comes in as the underdog with the bookies. It's just a brilliant fight, isn't it? Especially at this stage of Aqib's career.
100%. It's the kind of fight he needs as well. You know, look, he got tested in his last fight out in Manchester, and this is the exact fight he needs against Reece Bellotti. You know, Reece Bellotti's experienced, but it's the right time. And I think it's one of the best fights on the card. And I think, you know, you're going to be in for an entertaining one there. And a great undercard top to bottom as well. You know, Peter McGrail against Mendoza is a brilliant fight. McGrail's someone we're very excited by. You know, he's been unfortunate out with some injuries, but we've got to keep him active after Saturday night. Shabazz Massoud's Matchroom debut, he's a fighter we're very excited around. Khalil Majid, Tom Farrell's a brilliant fight. Jack Turner sold 1,000 tickets. Campbell Hatton, William Crolla, Muhammad Ali, Paddy Lacey. So look, it's a stacked undercard and in for a great night.
I'd like to cast our minds back to 2 weeks ago now. We saw Leigh Wood beat Josh Warrington in what was just another crazy fight, something we should start getting used to with Leigh Wood. What was your reaction to that fight? It was a bit mental, wasn't it?
Tremendous fight, and it's the kind of fights boxing needs to continue building. You know, especially with the whole misfit stuff going on. They're the kind of fights we need to deliver, and the kind of shows we need to deliver. You know, it was a brilliant fight, brilliant night. Leigh Wood showed why he deserves to be at that level, and fair play to him. You know, Josh Warrington won almost every round of that fight and was looking spectacular. It looked like it was slipping away from Leigh Wood, but as always, he shows he's got that huge power. And look, I think that's one of the most intriguing fights to make next is that rematch.
Obviously, that was my next point. Obviously, Leigh Wood has now vacated his 126-pound WBA featherweight title, and he will step up to super featherweight. Obviously, looking at the City Ground fight, that is contractually next for him, but it's who do you take to the City Ground with him to sell the numbers? Obviously, the standout option is going to be Josh Warrington, the rematch, especially the way the first fight went. But obviously, the thing that was highlighted in the build-up was the two backgrounds, two people just dedicated to their city, very, very involved with the football club. So would you say that's the front runner for the City Ground for him?
I think it's a natural fight with a great storyline. You know, it ended in a manner where Josh feels like it shouldn't have been stopped. You know, many people feel that way as well. Many other people feel it was the right decision. But there's definitely an opportunity there. Obviously at 130, I guess it would have to be. You know, you've obviously got the talks around whether a Joe Cordina fight would work at 130. The Michael Conlon rematch, which obviously we all remember was a tremendous first time round in Nottingham. So, you know, there's lots to be done, but I think that the rematch is definitely the I think the rematch makes a lot of sense, and I think that's what we'll see over the next couple of weeks, talking to Nottingham Forest and the City Ground and see what's possible.
I want to quickly talk and get your thoughts on what we saw last week, the somewhat boxing event that we saw with KSI versus Tommy Fury. I'm not going to ask too many questions about it, but I just want to get your thoughts on it. Did you watch the event first of all?
Yeah, I watched it. Do you know what? I actually didn't watch the main event. I didn't watch the main event, but I watched everything else. It's entertainment. I think it's great. I think it's brilliant, and I think there's a space for it, and I think it delivers a new audience into the sport. And, people are going to sit there. Look, my view is, if you don't like it, you don't watch it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I think anything that delivers a new audience into the sport and also pushes us to try and improve the professional element of boxing is only going to be good. And I think we're going to see benefits of this, maybe not today, but within the next 5-10 years, of more people in boxing gyms, more people training, because these guys and girls have got huge followings, right? And if it takes someone tuning in to go, I want to go and do that, brilliant. We should, I'm probably the opposite of a lot of people on my view on it.
Obviously, I think one of the big talk points as well was obviously Tommy Fury. He set out to end crossover boxing and then has done so by getting a split decision against Jake Paul and then a very tight decision against KSI. But you can't fault him for the fact that he's transitioned to this and he's probably made about £10+ million. You can't really fault him, can you? Fair
play to Tommy Fury. I would like to be Tommy Fury. He's absolutely caked. He's got a body like a Adonis. So well done to him. And if you can make a load more money doing something that is essentially easier, you're all doing it. If you can find someone for me now to go like, I'm there tomorrow. So fair play to him. People can have their view on him. He's commercialised him, so he's built something for himself. Well done to him. And look, he wouldn't. The truth is, if he was a superstar boxer, if he had all the ability in the world, he wouldn't be in Misfits because no one would want to fight him. So he knows the level, and that's the reality of it. So fair play to him. I'd like to be Tommy Fury.
And finally, I just want to quickly talk about what we've got next week. Saudi Arabia, we see Tyson Fury take on Francis Ngannou. Quickly want to talk about the co-main event of the night, Fabio Wardley versus David Adeleye. Obviously, when the fight was first announced, we weren't sure whether the British title was going to be on the line. Then we got told it wasn't going to be on the line, but now it is on the line. What do you make of that, with the British title being on the line for that fight? It kind of makes a bit more sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, look, I mean, it's the first time a British title, I think, has been approved outside of the UK. Look, I think the truth is with that fight now, because of the build-up they've had, it doesn't really matter about belts. Fighters like belt, but it doesn't really matter about belts. No one. The reality is the audience aren't tuning in going, nice for the British title. They're tuning in now, the addition, the casual audience, because they're saying, well, they had a scrap, didn't they? And he cut him. So look, it's a tremendous fight. I think Fabio does the business. And looking forward to it. Look, I'm looking forward to the Tyson Fury and Ngannou fight. Don't know what's going to happen, but you buy into the entertainment as well, don't we? And that's what it's all about. And I think it's good. I think anything that pushes the sport out, whether it be professional boxing, whether it be crossover boxing, whether it be Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou, anything that builds the sport, and is only going to be good.
Well, Frank, I'm going to let you go now. Thank you very much for your time. I'm sure we'll catch up again very soon.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Thank you very much.